as England progressed through the competition, it was sort of building more and more.
It's Sterling and right! Got the touch! England have the lead!
We qualified. Not in style, but effectively. That's all you have to do. You've got to get into the knockout stage, and then you're on your way.
We've got through the group. We're playing Belgium, and it's a tight game. What I remember about the early stages of that World Cup was Platt's goal late on.
Played 90 minutes, went the extra time, and it was the last. It was going to go into penalties.
Harris challenges Gascoigne. Free kick given.
And I remember we got this free kick right at the last minute.
Good position. A minute left.
And I remember Paul Gascoigne getting to the free kick, and he was just looking to run it, to play it short and run the ball, you know.
It's Gascoigne shaping to take it.
And I remember getting off my bench and I shouted, "Ball, you ball!" He kind of looked, I said, "Get it into the box."
And chipped in.
And he just floated it just on the inside right channel. And Platty made that run, and then as the ball dropped over his shoulder.
Most magnificent piece of skill.
And volleyed in, and it's there by David Platt.
Well, he's hooked this ball over his shoulder, and it was just like...
He hit it perfect, right on the belly of the ball, and it flew in past the keeper.
It was just a fantastic moment, as I think was fairly obvious from some of our faces.
England have done it! And there it is. England are through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup, equaling their best ever performance outside their own country.
Me, Terry Butcher ended up in the centre circle and doing a daft jig. You know, I think we were celebrating another plane journey and, you know, going through to Naples for the quarter-finals.
Ireland were in the World Cup finals for the first time, and their silly fans were going to make the most of it.
The whole country just came to a standstill when there was a football match on.
The nation just went bananas.
Every pub in Dublin, you couldn't breathe. And, you know, you had to go outside to change your mind. You know what I mean?
And they all ran their credit cards into massive debt.
Stories of people, taxi drivers taking people to the airport in Dublin and actually leaving the taxis there and, you know, having their passport and no clothes and just flying out.
Dublin's first city where the girls are so pretty. I first set my eyes on sweet Molly.
If they lost, they would go out and get drunk and have a sing-song. If they won, they would go out and get drunk and have a sing-song.
We are not going to have the burden of actually winning the World Cup for a long time yet. So, you know, in a way, it's a very carefree way to be an Irish fan.
I wanted to be back there and be part of it. I wanted to watch it. You know, I didn't want to be playing it. I wanted to be watching.
Sometimes it wasn't pretty to watch, but it was very, very effective.
There's Cascarino, and it came off Van Arle. Oh, and yes, Quinn was in there. They've equalised.
The Irish weren't sort of playing to the script, which I think was one of their strengths.
I don't think people expected them to get through the first phase. They did. We got drawn against Romania.
The teams line up, and the two national anthems.
We're all plastic paddies, but we didn't mind. We'll take whoever wants to come over, you know.
It was always a joke, the fact that if you had an Irish setter, that was a qualification flip for the Irish team. At one stage it went against you, I think, to actually be born in the country of Ireland.
There was no non-Irish in our team, believe me.
I think they like Geordies. If it had been from the south, they might not have liked me as much, but being a Geordie, I'm acceptable.
He was afraid of nobody. No country, no player. And that only comes when you win a World Cup.
Irish muscle against Romanian brains, so they say. The Republic heard it before.
We battled through, we had a chance at two, they had a chance at two, the game finished up after extra time 0-0.
And the whistle has gone, it's all over, and somebody now will suffer the cruelest of fates.
It's so agonising to have to, I mean, just to sit through and watch it, it's so painful. God only knows what it must be like to actually do it.
The pressure is so intense.
And it's really frightening, the pressure, when you're actually going up to kick the ball.
The Irish love agony. I think that's why we love soccer so much, because it's pleasure and pain all mixed together in a very, very potent mix.
What I wonder has Jack Charlton told his players?
And I remember going to the players who were just all sat on the ground, and I just said to them, I'm not going to pick out who takes the penalties. You sort that out among yourselves.
Penalty shootouts, the best of times are like watching a car crash. You know, you're fascinated, horribly fascinated by them, but you can't take your eyes away.
Just give me one little chance to save one. I've never jumped higher in my life after saving that penalty. It was a tremendous feeling, to be honest, because I knew, because of it being the fifth penalty, that we had a real chance here, you know. Then, sort of a little bit of doubt creeped in when I seen Dave walking up, you know.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't like to be in David O'Leary's shoes here. He's not really a penalty taker.
No, Dave, don't think he'd ever took a penalty before.
I think we put him at number 5, really, because, you know, we thought we might not get that far.
Like, the tension's unbearable up here.
I didn't know he was going to take a penalty. I mean, the last people in the world I would have taken penalties are centre-backs.
Put the ball down. The whole place, the whole ground was silent.
Nothing needs saying here. We'll let O'Leary and Blum tough it out.
You got any miss?
Everything was lost. I mean, grown men were weeping beside me, you know. It just couldn't happen.
David did it exactly right, and he stuck it in. Everybody was running towards David.